Imagine a world where one device ruled every boardroom, every executive's pocket, and every government office. A device that made you feel connected, productive, unstoppable. That device was the BlackBerry. By the mid-2000s, BlackBerry wasn't just a phone, it was a status symbol. Crackberry addicts couldn't put it down. Emails pinged instantly. Schedules, contacts, and messages flowed seamlessly. If you were someone who mattered in business, government, or media, you carried a BlackBerry. But here's the twist: the very company that invented the smartphone as we knew it would fall faster than anyone could imagine. Within a decade, BlackBerry went from iconic dominance to a cautionary tale. Billions in revenue vanished. Market share collapsed. Loyal users switched brands almost overnight. And yet, for a time, it seemed untouchable. So how did this happen? How did a company that defined mobile productivity, secure communication, and professional lifestyle fail so spectacularly? The story isn't just about technology, it's about decisions, or the lack thereof. It's about arrogance, timing, and a world moving faster than even the smartest engineers could predict. In this video, we'll explore the rise, the golden era, the competition, the missteps, and ultimately the lessons that BlackBerry left behind. Because in the world of tech, success is temporary and failure can teach more than triumph ever could. This is the story of how BlackBerry failed miserably. In the late 1980s, two Canadian engineers, Mike Lazaridis and Douglas Friedgen, founded a small company called Research in Motion. They had one simple goal: make communication seamless and secure. At the time, mobile phones were bulky, clunky, and mostly for voice calls. But Lazaridis and Friedgen imagined something different: a device that could send and receive emails on the go, securely and efficiently. Their breakthrough came with the BlackBerry 850 in 1999. It wasn't flashy, but it worked. It delivered emails instantly, used a physical QWERTY keyboard, and had a security system that governments and corporations trusted implicitly. BlackBerry became an overnight hit in the corporate world. Executives, politicians, and business leaders suddenly had the power of a desktop computer in their pocket. It wasn't just convenience, it was control and productivity at your fingertips. By the early 2000s, BlackBerry was everywhere, in offices, boardrooms, and even in pop culture. The nickname Crackberry emerged because users couldn't put it down. Emails, contacts, calendars all integrated into one device that seemed indispensable. What set BlackBerry apart was more than just hardware. It was the ecosystem and infrastructure behind it. BlackBerry Enterprise Server allowed companies to manage hundreds of devices, ensuring that security and communication standards were maintained. It was a closed, efficient, and reliable system, something competitors couldn't match at the time. By 2005, BlackBerry was a global sensation. The company went public, revenues soared, and for a brief moment, it seemed like nothing could touch it. BlackBerry wasn't just a phone, it was a movement, a symbol of power, efficiency, and status. But as history would show, even the mightiest empires can crumble, especially when the world outside begins to change faster than the empire inside can adapt. Next, we'll dive into the golden era, where BlackBerry's dominance reached its peak, setting the stage for the dramatic challenges ahead. By the mid-2000s, BlackBerry wasn't just a phone, it was a cultural phenomenon. Executives, politicians, and professionals across the globe carried it like a badge of honor. Emails pinged constantly, meetings were coordinated seamlessly, and work could follow you everywhere. The nickname Crackberry wasn't a joke, it was a reflection of society's obsession with being always connected. BlackBerry's influence went beyond corporate offices. Governments relied on its secure network for confidential communication. Banks trusted it for encrypted transactions. Even Hollywood noticed BlackBerry had become a status symbol in movies and TV shows. During this golden era, the company expanded aggressively. New models with improved keyboards, screens, and battery life flooded the market. Enterprise services strengthened, and user loyalty soared. Revenue skyrocketed. BlackBerry became a multi-billion-dollar brand, seemingly untouchable. Investors, employees, and fans alike believed this dominance would last forever. The company's success wasn't accidental. It stemmed from a relentless focus on security, efficiency, and enterprise needs. While other phones were consumer gadgets, BlackBerry was a business tool essential, reliable, and respected. But even as BlackBerry reigned supreme, cracks were beginning to show, subtle at first, almost invisible. The world around them was changing. Touchscreen phones, app ecosystems, and new competitors were quietly reshaping consumer expectations. Yet BlackBerry remained confident. The assumption was simple: their loyal corporate users would always choose security over novelty. Their enterprise dominance would shield them from disruption. For a moment, it worked. The golden era felt endless. BlackBerry was everywhere: airports, offices, conferences, and even celebrity circles. They were the standard bearer of mobile productivity. But golden eras are fragile, and the very features that made BlackBerry indispensable, physical keyboards, closed systems, and enterprise focus, would soon become constraints in a world moving faster than the company could adapt. Next, we'll explore the competition awakens, where Apple, Android, and changing consumer tastes would challenge BlackBerry's dominance and begin the unraveling of an empire. By the late 2000s, the mobile world was changing faster than BlackBerry realized. For years, the company had dominated corporate email, secure messaging, and professional communications. Executives and governments trusted the brand implicitly. Its physical QWERTY keyboards, encrypted emails, and push notifications were legendary. But outside the enterprise world, something was shifting. In 2007, Apple launched the iPhone. It wasn't just a phone, it was a revolution. Touchscreens, sleek design, internet browsing, and a platform for apps redefined what people expected from a mobile device. Suddenly, phones weren't just tools for work, they were lifestyle devices. BlackBerry's initial reaction was cautious, even dismissive. Some executives believed touchscreens were a fad. Others assumed business users would never abandon the efficiency of the physical keyboard. After all, their loyal customers were thriving on BlackBerry's ecosystem. Meanwhile, the Android platform was rising, giving consumers more choice than ever. Affordable smartphones with touchscreen interfaces and endless apps began flooding markets worldwide. People wanted entertainment, social media, and personal customization on their devices, features BlackBerry had largely ignored. The competition wasn't just about hardware, it was about experience. Apple and Android offered seamless app ecosystems, intuitive interfaces, and a device that appealed to both consumers and professionals. BlackBerry, by contrast, was slow to update its operating system. Its devices felt dated, rigid, and increasingly out of touch with consumer desires. Even loyal users started to notice. The convenience of apps, the freedom of a touchscreen, and the social connectivity offered by new smartphones began to outweigh the security advantages of BlackBerry. And the effect was swift. Market share began to erode. Apple and Android captured consumer attention. BlackBerry was still strong in enterprise, but the broader market was moving past it. The very confidence that had sustained its golden era enterprise loyalty, security, and efficiency became a limiting factor. BlackBerry's empire, once thought untouchable, now faced a formidable threat, a world that demanded innovation, flexibility, and consumer appeal, not just technical excellence and secure email. In the next chapter, we'll examine strategic missteps and management errors, where slow adaptation, fragmented leadership, and over-reliance on enterprise customers would accelerate BlackBerry's decline. By the early 2010s, it was clear BlackBerry was no longer invincible. The company that once defined mobile productivity had become reactive instead of proactive. The mistakes were subtle at first: delays in software updates, hesitation to adopt touchscreens, but their consequences were devastating. BlackBerry had built its empire on enterprise email and secure communication. For a decade, that strategy worked perfectly. But as the consumer market expanded, the company failed to see a critical shift. Smartphones were no longer just tools for work, they were essential to daily life. While competitors like Apple and Android created ecosystems filled with apps, media, and personalization, BlackBerry remained a closed system. The App World Store launched too late, and it never attracted developers at the scale Apple and Android had achieved. Even hardware missteps compounded the problem. Products like the BlackBerry Storm, a touchscreen phone, failed to deliver the smooth, intuitive experience users now expected. The QWERTY keyboard, once a strength, became a limitation as people grew accustomed to touch interfaces. Leadership issues only worsened the situation. The company had fragmented management, with conflicting visions and slow decision-making. While competitors moved quickly to embrace new technologies, BlackBerry debated internally, often missing critical windows of opportunity. Meanwhile, over-reliance on enterprise clients backfired. Corporate users were loyal, but they were also adapting. Many began allowing employees to use iPhones or Android devices, eroding BlackBerry's once unshakable market base. Security, the company's hallmark, was no longer enough to retain users. Yes, BlackBerry remained the gold standard for encrypted communication, but people wanted versatility, apps, and lifestyle integration, which BlackBerry couldn't match. Even bold initiatives like the Playbook tablet failed to revive momentum. The device was rushed, lacked essential features, and couldn't compete with Apple's iPad or Android alternatives. By the mid-2010s, BlackBerry's market share was plummeting. From corporate staple to niche device, the company became a shadow of its former glory. The rise and fall of BlackBerry wasn't caused by a single mistake, it was a series of strategic missteps compounded by slow adaptation, leadership indecision, and an underestimation of consumer trends. And with each delay, each misjudgment, the competitors gained ground. In the next chapter, we'll explore the collapse and lessons learned, where BlackBerry's decline accelerates into near irrelevance, and the cautionary tale becomes painfully clear. By the mid-2010s, the company that once dominated the smartphone world had become a cautionary tale. BlackBerry, which had once defined mobile productivity, security, and corporate communication, was now losing relevance at an alarming pace. Failed product launches accelerated the decline. The BlackBerry Storm, its first attempt at a touchscreen device, was clunky and unresponsive. The Playbook tablet entered a crowded market late, lacking essential features and failing to capture users' attention. Meanwhile, the iPhone and Android devices surged forward with sleek designs, robust app ecosystems, and user-friendly interfaces. Enterprise clients, once loyal to BlackBerry for security reasons, began adopting alternative solutions. Buy it, bring your own device policies allowed employees to use iPhones and Android devices for work. BlackBerry's market share, once over 40% in the US smartphone market, plummeted to single digits within a few years. The company attempted to pivot. It embraced Android, released new devices, and focused on software and enterprise solutions. But the trust, excitement, and cultural dominance it had enjoyed were gone. By 2016, BlackBerry had stopped making its own phones, licensing the brand to TCL Corporation. The era of BlackBerry as a global icon was over. Its devices, once indispensable, were now relics of a bygone age. The lessons of BlackBerry's collapse are stark. Innovation is not enough. Being first or technically superior doesn't guarantee long-term success if the market's needs shift. Consumer trends matter. Ignoring what users want, apps, touchscreens, flexibility can turn dominance into irrelevance. Adaptation must be fast. Markets move quickly. Hesitation, indecision, or complacency can be fatal. Leadership is crucial. Fragmented vision and slow decision-making allowed competitors to overtake a once dominant company. BlackBerry's story is a powerful reminder. In tech, the rules are unforgiving. A product that rules today can become obsolete tomorrow if its creators fail to anticipate change. From being the must-have device for executives worldwide to a niche brand barely remembered by younger generations, BlackBerry fell not because it lacked innovation, but because it failed to evolve with the world it helped shape. And that's why, today, BlackBerry isn't just a company, it's a lesson. A cautionary tale for every tech giant, entrepreneur, and innovator. No empire lasts forever if it stops listening, adapting, and moving forward. If you learned from this, kindly drop a comment on what you think caused BlackBerry's failure to keep the conversation going. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos.